Namaste everyone, welcome back to my channel. Yesterday I saw a video on YouTube which was basically reacting to the current TikTok trend, which is basically the NPC live streaming trend. I have so much to say and honestly I don't even know where to begin. I think I have to begin by saying that I am so glad that I was born in an era when there was no social media. The entirety of my childhood was completely unencumbered by it. I still remember I was more than 18 years when we got our first desktop computer home, and when I was 16, 17ish, we would get literally 10 rupees a week for us to go to the internet cafe and check emails. I have no idea who I was emailing, what I was emailing at that time, but that was it. Now coming back to the trend, if you have seen it, which I am sure you would have, it is huge on both TikTok and as well as on Twitter right now. There is no explanation needed as to why it is such a weird, strange echo of the current cultural and social landscape that we live in. And this landscape is completely watered by the virtual landscape and not vice versa. I know that is very strange, but hear me out. NPC is basically non-player character, which is seen on video games. And so in this live streaming trend, the creators basically act like these NPC characters, which is basically robotic characters. And the viewers have the option of feeding them virtual food items. And the creators virtually eat it, making these weird virtual sound, literally like robots. And every time they eat a piece, I think they get paid a certain amount. Which when I say it like this, feels kind of harmless, but I think the real damage is done when you actually look at the videos themselves. I dug a little bit more into this and I came across an article about one of the creators who's probably the top creator of this trend at the minute. And it basically spoke about how she was going through a very difficult time in her life and she had just lost her business. And after she started doing this trend, she started earning $7,000 a day. Yes, of course, when you look at these personal stories, it is hard not to feel empathy for people. But my biggest question is, as a society, what is our answer to these situations and these questions? Is it trends like these? Is this where society has come? Is this where our cultural, quality, cultural awareness stands at? So to me personally, it is the underlying cultural and social significance that is echoed in these trends that is more troublesome rather than the trends themselves, and also the huge amount of the younger generation that is following these trends and that is completely immersed in this 24/7. My first question is, why exactly are humans acting like robots? The point of creating video games is to have these characters that we as players can control and make them do as we want them to do. And here in this trend, it is the humans that are acting robotic and they are being controlled by their viewers in exchange for money that they are paid. It feels so very dystopian, so strange, so weird. It's kind of like a reverse odd phenomenon of some kind. I mean, where has the celebration of being human, being the most superior creation on earth and all of that gone? More specifically, why are women doing this? It doesn't take a genius to understand that there is a lot of sexual innuendo in all these live streams. Of course, there's no individual judgment on any particular creator or the choices that they make. But again, as a part of this society, I cannot help but wondering and questioning where exactly we are headed and what exactly our levels of perception and cultural sensitivity are. I mean, weren't we all talking about the fear of AI taking over our lives, our jobs and all of that, and the human brain's capacity to think becoming completely irrelevant? That's already happened and we didn't actually need robots for that. Humans suffice. Humans are turning into robots. I honestly think that the main reason people are so very disturbed by this trend is because of this. So I initially thought this was one of those trends that would eventually die down. But then I came across these amazing pieces, think pieces, intellectual pieces written by reputed newspapers who were actually justifying this. They were calling this a very philosophical act, an act which would help us to increase our dopamine levels and an act which would completely shut the mind down. I think it is probably one of the funniest defenses I have ever seen, personally. I watched quite a lot of these and I promise you there was no release of a dopamine and there was no shutting down of my mind from screaming out. And I get it. There is all kinds of entertainment in the world. There is all kinds of high culture, low culture, whatever terms you want to assign to them. But anything that asks you to literally shut down your brain, not as a form of stress release, but literally to numb it so much that you don't ask any questions at all and you just literally follow whatever you're being told to do, I think that's very dangerous, unhealthy. And I cannot help but worry about the future of a society where majority of the younger generation is involved in activities like these. You tell me, comment below and let me know what you think about this.